So effectively what we're going to do today is we are going to practice our techniques of painting clouds. If you look in your sketchbook, you are going to have your pictures of clouds. You might have stuck your trees in already. Then you are going to have two practices to paint clouds, then two practices later to paint trees, and then finally you will paint the tree pictures with the clouds and the mountains at the end. So as I said, we're going to have two goes of painting these today. It may be the case that you actually end up having 4 tries, because there may be another 2 examples on the back of these 2 sheets. So to do this, we're going to need our paints. Very important, we only use black and water to lighten it and not white. We're going to need our watercolor paper, scrap paper and tissue paper. Now, most of this work today is going to be done with one of the large brushes, whereas the 2 smaller brushes you have in your art pack, you may use them, you may choose not to use them. This technique involves using wet paint on wet paper. And what that does is it allows the paint to dissipate into the paper because it's already wet, and you don't get those hard edges of brush strokes which you would do if you were using dry paper, and of course not getting hard edges because the paper is already wet is ideal for painting clouds. So need to ensure the water is clean. You can see I'm putting quite a lot of water on top, probably 5 or 6 brushfuls worth of water, and it's starting to curl up the paper where the water is being absorbed. That's not a problem. The next stage is to mix up some very light colour. In terms of the black paint, you're almost wanting to mix up the equivalent of dirty water. So that's way too dark. You're going to mix up a much lighter layer. Look at your cloud pictures. So it may be the case that your cloud pictures have very sort of subtle curves. You're not painting in straight lines. You're painting with curved lines, with dabs of colour. The first layer is going to be incredibly light, and you can hardly notice it. 2 areas where boys go wrong is, firstly, they don't wet the paper enough, and secondly, they use too dark a colour to start off with. So you can see I'm building up the layers. I've got about 2 different shades of grey here, first of all. It may be the case that you use a tissue paper, so I'm going to take a slightly darker colour for my clouds. And then what the tissue paper allows me to do is lift off and move around bits of paint to make the cloud-like effect more apparent, and even lift off the slightly darker areas. Now it may also be the case that you choose to work into it with a finer brush, again, not with too dark a color,